Hey, happy campers!
This is Camp Counselors.
A good-natured podcast hosted by your favorite fake camp counselors, Zachariah and Jonathan.
Here at Camp Shady Birch, we love the great outdoors in theory.
But we'd much rather spend our time making friendship bracelets,
spreading camper gossip,
keeping our heads in the clouds,
and avoiding archery at all costs.
We know we would make great camp counselors, minus the fact that we know little to nothing about camping.
So grab your sunscreen and bug spray because things are about to get campy.
This is Camp Counselors.
Hey, happy campers!
Welcome to week 6 here at Camp Shady Birch.
Week 6, and I'm feeling alive, and I'm feeling so fun, fresh, and free. I love Camp Shady Birch, especially this time of year.
It is mid-October as we record this, but we are a little sun-kissed.
We are sun-kissed.
You're glowing, honestly.
I feel fun, fresh, and free. I do. I feel like tan. I didn't burn this week. Where did we just come back from?
So we came back from Savannah, Georgia, and Hilton Head Island.
Why were we there?
We were there on a family vacation, and it was fantastic.
We were with Jonathan's family. This is the first family vacation I went on. We had a good time, though. It was nice.
We did. We had a great time.
Yeah, but we got off the plane, and we were like, oh my God, New York City, fall is in full effect here.
We literally went from 85 degrees and sipping frozen drinks on the beach to 55 degrees and drinking warm cider in our living room.
I know. I love fall in New York. It really hits hard here. The leaves are just starting to change. I'm about to put on a wool sweater, blast some Taylor Swift, and just get into my oats. I'm loving it.
Lots of flannel, lots of sweatpants.
Yeah, there's a lot of, so we were talking about it today. We were like, what are some like good buzzwords for fall? We're like, what just like gets our jewels in a bunch? So let's just throw around some fall words and let's just see what comes to mind, how we feel. What are the vibes? I'll start. When I say candy corn, what do you think of?
I think already I'm in defense mode because I feel like everybody who doesn't like candy corn, which is 90% of the population of this planet, absolutely hates it and will attack me. But I love candy corn.
Yeah,
I think it's tasty. Okay, but here's the thing: like, too much is too much. So I can have a little couple pieces around this time of year, and then that's it. That's all I need.
It tastes like an essential oil. It definitely does. It's got the texture of a candle and the smell. Like, I don't get it. Like, I want to like it because something about it is appealing, and I love a themed snack. You know that about me.
Of course.
But it's not good. They're not good.
Now that I think about it, it's kind of just like fondant. It's like sugar fondant.
I've always wanted to take the candy corns and make them into an actual corn cob.
We should do that.
I think that would be fun, but I'm more into the craft of that and less into the taste. I'm not into that candy corn. Okay, that's enough about candy corn.
Well, I like candy corn.
You are.
So speaking of corn mazes. How are we feeling about corn mazes?
I love corn mazes. I grew up going to corn mazes my entire life. I used to go to a church, I just went to a church, and there was a youth group, and we used to always go to this corn maze every single year. And one year I was like 11 years old, and we were at this corn maze in Rhode Island. It was called Escobar's, I think. And someone made me upset in the youth group, so I stormed off, and I was like, I'm doing my own thing on the maze. And I ended up getting lost in the maze by myself, and I was like in the far from the end, entrance, and everyone had already gone out and the sun was going down, and I was like kind of panicking, but also like feeling like I was an independent person and I didn't need the people who were making fun of me. And I walked by what they call a corn cop, and a corn cop is an employee of a corn maze who's there to make sure that you're not cutting through the maze and like ruining the maze. So I walked by a corn cop, and I heard on their radio that they were looking for me. They gave a physical description and my name, and the corn cop, who's like a 16-year-old, probably smoking weed in the bag, looked at me and was like, is that you? And I was like, yep. So they had to bring me back, and I walked back, and the entire youth group was like waiting at the entrance, and I walked out, and I was like, well, if it isn't me. And they were like, Zach, why are you so dramatic? And I was like, I was fine, just doing my own thing. So
or they have to helivac you out of there.
No, it wasn't that big, but basically like they would have had to send out like an actual like the employees to find me had I had not just like walked by at the perfect moment of like a corn cob. But I looked at a map where I was found at the end, and I was like, wow, I were really out there. I was really far.
See, that is too much for you already know how I am with directions. I can't do it. So you getting out of there is a blessing. I would have been lost forever.
We would have fought. If we do one together, we're just gonna fight because I know that you're gonna be wrong in your directions. I usually am really good at directions, and you are 100% directionally challenged, and we would be like, you'd be like, let's go left, and I'd be like, you're all no.
See, but then I know myself, and I would listen to you because we would be lost. When I'm in there, it's like 10 minutes. It's okay. Here's the thing. It's fun in theory. You go with a group of people that maybe you don't know is great, or your church group, and then you're in there for like what, 15, 20 minutes. You just want to sit down, but you can't because it's mud on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And you're stuck in there having a mild panic attack because you can't find your way out.
And one thing about a corn maze is when it's like the perfect shade of corn that you're like loving, that green lush corn. It's also September, and September is what I call the fool's fall. Because it feels like fall between the hours of 5 a.m. and 9 a.m. And then it turns right back to summer for the afternoon. So you want to get all falled up. You want to get all falled and dolled. And you put on a flannel and you're sweating in the summer heat. And by the time it really feels like a traditional fall, mid-October, the corn is dying. And there's nothing fun about being in a dying corn maze. Unless it's haunted.
Ooh. All right. So corn mazes. Wow. Okay. We got a lot of opinions on that.
What are your opinions on Sweater Weather? Sweater Weather.
Sweater Weather, the song by The Neighborhood. Overplayed.
Oh, I thought when I wrote this down, it was actually just the opinions on Sweater Weather. Because the song itself, I love.
Oh, is that what we're talking about?
I think we talk about both. I love the song. I love, it's too cold for you here. The Neighborhood. I love that song. But like the act of actually putting on a sweater in the crisp air, I think it's romantic. I like love to have a little cable knit off the shoulder. I'm walking around with a mug. I just have my panties on, high socks, and I'm just like, oh my God, it's so nippy in here, but yet my thighs are nice. Like I love that like fantasy, like a messy bun. I have no hair, but like I'm in a messy bun, some reading glasses. I'm reading that book you're currently reading, and I'm just feeling like sexy and
you're walking into like a deli and they're like, sir, please take out the man bun clip in and put some pants on because this is a delicatessen.
I only go to delis that are pants optional. A pants optional deli is a deli I approve of, and that's in my fall fantasy.
Fair enough. All right.
You wrote this one.
Sitting on the floor of a wagon in a hayride.
You need to throw that out. You're going to start that one because this is so specific that you clearly need to talk about this.
Okay, so I just think there's something completely embarrassing about sitting in the back of a wagon with a bunch of children around screaming with their faces half painted. Mm-hmm. And then at the end of it, you have to stand up and you're literally sitting on the floor and you're covered in hay and you're with somebody who's not going to tell you that you have hay on your ass. And for 45 minutes, you're walking around the rest of this farm, which is straw on your butt.
Yeah. And there's one thing about hay. One thing about hay is that when you sit on a piece of hay, it's hard. There's some sort of carcass on it, some sort of crispy plastic bits. And if that pokes your soft skin, I'm in pain. And all this to get what? A moldy pumpkin? I'm not interested.
Last year there were lots of moldy pumpkins when we were on the hayride.
Oh, we'll post it on the Instagram. We should start doing that. Like when we tell stories, we should do like little like things for the episode.
Yeah.
Yes, because we have pictures from last year. We went to
They were bad.
We went to this pumpkin patch in Acushnet, Massachusetts called Keith's, and it was like the moldy pickens. We were kicking rotted pumpkins. It was gray. We rode in a hayride that year together.
We did, and we sat in the back of it, and it was mortifying trying to stand up after.
Reference point.
Yes.
Oh my God. Am I losing brain cells?
Maybe. I think we both are a little bit.
All coming back.
Okay, but in their defense, that was also like 2 days before Halloween. It was like a last minute, like, oh, let's go do this. I think that was when my car broke down.
This is what I'm trying to say is back to the corn maze. It's the ideal time to do these fall activities for freshness is September. But when you really want to be doing them in October, things are rotted, things are gutted, things are collapsing.
So I'm not a fan of sitting on hayride floors.
I agree.
I think they could put like a little couch in there. That would be nice. I wouldn't mind a couch.
Oh, or just like, think about this. A lovely hay bale with just a beautiful red and black plaid kind of wool blanket.
Okay.
Gently tossed over it.
Okay, and then we sit on the wool blanket.
And then we sit in the wool blanket.
I could do that.
Because then I'm getting the fantasy double layer.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed.
I can do that.
Okay, I think we're going to start a business. It's called Blankets for the Hay Bales. And we just sell blankets for hay bales.
Trademarked. So don't even try it, you fuckers.
Okay, this one feels close to home for me. I hate looking at a pumpkin that's been carved, that's been sitting out on a porch, after 3 weeks.
Shelf life of 4 days.
It's got a shelf life. I would say, depending on the weather, a pumpkin being carved has a good 2 weeks to it. But once you're hitting that 3rd week, Sister Mary Catherine, throw that in the bush because it's rotting, it's smelling, it's getting soggy and wet. And I don't care how cute it was on October 1st. You're 3 days out from October 31st, and the kids are scared more of the pumpkin than they are of their own costumes because that thing is rotted with flies all over it. Toss it out.
Just open it and it's like mold spores everywhere.
Yeah, and like don't put a candle in there because that thing won't catch flame because it's so wet in there. It's moist. It's giving mold.
I love to put a little candle in my jack-o'-lantern though. I will be out there with a new tea light every 2 hours. Every night that I have a jack-o'-lantern on the front, I'm not even kidding. I will relight it. I will tend to it as if it is my child. Just to, light the way for the souls.
I don't think I've ever put a candle in a jack-o'-lantern.
Never?
I don't think my parents would let me. They're like, we have insurance, house insurance, but we cannot do another claim this year, Zachariah.
Par for the course. I can see that.
Exactly.
I can see that for sure. Yeah, no, I love to put a little candle in it. We never carved pumpkins before. You're not a carver.
I'm not a carver because I grew up doing it so much, and I realized, hey, every year I do this, I hate it. So why am I going to keep carving pumpkins? I'm not going to romanticize this anymore. I'm growing up. I hate the act of it. You know what I like to doing? Oh my God, this is fun and this is safe. Get a Sharpie, black, bold tip, draw what you would carve. It looks nice from a distance. It does not rot and it's no cleanup. And I don't like pumpkin seeds. And there I said it. Hey, I'm being honest. I don't like pumpkin seeds.
Just gonna ask your opinion on pumpkin seeds, which I already knew, but I love pumpkin seeds. It's part of the ritual for me. You cut out the guts.
No.
You scoop them.
No.
That was always my job. I stand at the sink with the pasta strainer and I go through the seeds and I pick out the guts. I love doing that.
Listen, I'm no cardinal. I'm no blue jay. I don't need seeds in my diet. All right? Pass.
Which brings us to our next winter vegetable, gourds.
Oh, I love a gourd.
What are you going to do with a gourd?
I just think gourds are nice for display. You don't need to cook them. I'll cook a butternut all day. But a traditional gourd, I think, is a nice centerpiece. It's a nice, winter vegetable. It's hardy. They come in a variety of colors, shapes, and sizes. And I like them.
Can you eat them?
I'm sure you can eat them. Absolutely. You can eat anything in this world if you really want to.
I think they look like Jack Skellington's lumpy wiener.
Oh, Jackie's going to have a little rubby, too. I'm sorry I said that. I take it back. That was really gross.
You're nasty. I like those small ones that kind of look like pumpkins. I like those ones. But the lumpy, phallic ones, I'm going to dodge those.
I like all of them. I am pro gourd.
I really want to know if you can eat them or not.
You absolutely can eat them. They're a squash.
I guess you're right. I guess I just never really thought of, besides putting them on a table or a cornucopia.
There's bitches on the internet right now eating dandelion stems. All right? If they can eat that, then I can eat a gourd. Next. Attention campers, please meet at the old flagpole under the tall pine for morning announcements.
Morning announcements. Attention campers. Everyone passed yesterday's head lice screening, except for Cabin 6, who will be quarantined and forced to listen to Can't Get You Out of My Head by Kylie Minogue.
That's a good song. I love her.
We love you, Kylie.
We are pro-Australia in this campground.
You know who else is? RuPaul. RuPaul loves Kylie Minogue.
RuPaul loves money, and that's why he's also featured in Australia. And I love a businesswoman.
In other news, this article is coming from foodandwine.com, and it's written by Jalissa Castradale. A small Canadian town is now the home of a 17-foot tall Cheeto statue. Cheeto, a town of only 100 people, sits about 30 miles east of Calgary in south central Alberta, Canada. And it's now the home of a 17-foot tall statue of a set of Cheeto-dusted fingertips outreaching from the earth, holding onto a Cheeto Puff. The surprisingly large monument was placed by PepsiCo Canada earlier this week. So why Cheeto? Because according to the company, the official brand name for the brightly colored powder that coats your fingers is Cheetle. Have you heard of that? Cheetle. Apparently it's like
Don Cheadle, the actor.
Okay.
But it was Cheadle, not Cheeto?
Yeah, so Cheetos, I guess they trademarked Cheetle being the dust that covers your fingers.
Oh, so Cheetle is the dust for the Cheeto?
Yeah.
No, there's no need for that. Let's delete that. Let's take that back for a minute. That's ridiculous.
Well, there's no taking it back, says Lisa Alley, the senior marketing director for PepsiCo Foods Canada, who said in a statement, Cheetos fans, get a load of this, Cheetos fans have always known that the delicious, cheesy dust on their fingertips is an unmistakable delicious part of the Cheetos experience.
Uh-huh.
But now it officially has a name, Cheeto. And apparently Cheeto in Canada, the town that this was erected in, they are loving it and supporting it too.
Oh yeah, I think it's a fun idea. I think, hey, bring some tourism to Cheeto.
I also think leave it to a company to turn like something like Cheeto dust, which arguably is the most annoying part to me of eating a Cheeto, and then being like, it's an experience.
Yeah, I think you can't avoid it. And that's why people are using like chopsticks to eat them now, especially the hot Cheeto dust. That will dye your nail beds red for about 4 years.
You're absolutely right. I didn't even think about hot Cheetos, but 100%.
Do you have a picture of the monument?
Yes, I do. Thank you for asking.
Oh my God, it's actually gorgeous. Wait, I love that. See, if I were driving by, I would stop to take a picture with that. That's fun.
And that's what they want. They want people to like go and take pictures of it and
Oh my
stuff.
God, I'm obsessed.
But it's kind of in the middle of nowhere from what I was reading. And also the town has 100 people. How crazy. They really just went for it because the town's name is Cheadle. It's spelled differently. It's Cheadle.
Yeah, but you know, in the U.S., like if you drive cross country, there's a bunch of towns that don't have anything really in it except I've never driven across the country, but like, isn't there places that have like a big potato, a big thing of butter, a big thing of yarn? Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like,
Yeah.
It's like a reason to stop there.
Yeah.
So I love it.
Yeah.
I love that PepsiCo Canada was like, hey babes, we're bringing in the money for y'all.
And I will say that because the people there are approving of it, I'm approving of it.
Hey, we love it. What would you do if you could make a statue anywhere?
So I have thought about this. Thank you for asking.
I know you have.
I would do you remember those like at the mall, the vending machines, put a little quarter in, they have like the plastic spherical things that usually have like a little,
Oh, of course. Of course.
like a man on a parachute, a couple shitty tattoos, or an alien little guy. So I would have a giant statue. I'm thinking, I don't know, 17 feet tall. That's what this was. Is that standard?
I guess that looked pretty big in that picture.
Okay. So we'll go with 17 foot tall, like one of those, and inside each of those plastic balls will be a smaller statue of my cat Buffy in different positions, like laying, stretching, like one of those. And I think that would be cute. And then in front of the actual giant statue will be like an actual sized functional little vending machine where you can put a little quarter in, and then you'll get a little action figure of Buffy.
Oh, fun. Where would you put this? Where would it be? In your hometown or something?
That I did not think of.
Maybe there's a town in the world called Buffy, and you can put it in Buffyville or something.
Yeah, I'll put it in Buffyville. I think that's a great idea. And then all of the money will go towards me cloning her DNA.
Oh, and
I
to
think
making
that's
more
what the money's
Buffys.
gonna. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. You really thought this out completely, and I'm really obsessed.
Yeah, I thought about that before, and absolutely not in this moment.
Oh, fine.
What would you do a statue of?
I would do a 250-foot long Italian sub on the beach. There is nothing like eating an Italian grinder on the ocean front, like at the beach, out of an aluminum foil. So this Italian grinder would be massive, and it would kind of like go along the beach, maybe a parking lot in front of the beach, and people could sit on it, and it'd be kind of open, so you can crawl your little body into it like a little clam, but you'd be like, I'm in between the mortadella, and then it's like fun for everybody, and then it would promote Italian subs being served in every restaurant across the country. Because if anything, I always want an Italian sub. It's my favorite meal, and I love them at the beach, and I think I want them at the beach, and that's what I would do.
I think that's a great idea.
Thank you. I just thought of it right now.
I love that. That's perfect. I would be down to sit on it like a little bench.
Well, congratulations, Cheeto Alberta. We love you and your Cheeto dusted fingers.
You have a story?
Yes. My morning announcement comes from a small little place in Nevada. Ever heard of Nevada? I think it's Nevada, actually. I should say it that right.
Nevada.
It is a micronation called Molossia. Molossia. Molossia.
All right.
Do you know what a micronation is?
No.
It's basically like this little tiny, like, unrecognized group of people who've declared a nation, but like the greater community around it does not agree that it's a nation. But there is this man, Kevin Bao, who is the benevolent dictator of the Republic of Molossia, a 1-acre micronation in Nevada. Okay? So there's 35 people living in this micronation. Okay? And it happens to be that everyone that's there is related to Kevin Bao. Now, growing up, Kevin like always had this dream of doing this. When he grew up, I think he grew up in like the Seattle, like Portland area. When he was there, he had a friend and they kind of joked around doing this idea, but the friend was like, okay, I'm growing up now. And Kevin was like, no, like I'm so into this. Like I'm going to keep it going. So when he ended up getting married and starting a family in Nevada, he started this and it's been going on for like decades. And they're pretty crazy. Like I know it sounds wild, but I think he's kind of joking because I'll spare you the very long article from the Insider, but it seems like the choices he's made for things like currency have a sense of humor to them. Like he doesn't take himself too seriously. Like the currency is connected to the value of cookie dough. Like whatever the value of cookie dough is, that's the value of their currency. And don't worry, they have a naval fleet. It just consists of 2 kayaks and they do Navy trainings on Lake Tahoe. Okay. And it's funny, there's actually around 200 visitors every single year. Like he has a little bit of a tourism like business and you can come and they'll give you a full tour. It takes about 2 hours to see all the sites, but they have meetings and they have elections and it's pretty interesting. And I thought it was really funny in the article. They have this like kind of local parade. And he's in it every single year. He's like, hey, I'm the president of Malassia. And everyone's like, there's that crazy guy from four miles down the road.
Malassia.
Yes, Malassia. And I just thought it was interesting. But yeah, he was really funny. He was like, everybody in Malassia has dual citizenship between Malassia and the United States. Because they're like, we definitely need to maintain citizenship in the US because they're like, hey, we really need the Walmart. Like we need the Walmart to survive.
So how does that work with like a passport? Do you need like a passport to come to and fro?
If you go to Malassia, they will stamp your passport or they'll stamp like a fake passport for you to be like, you're a Malassia. They're really just selling a fantasy here. I think this guy really was into like amusement parks maybe. And he was like, how do I create my own amusement park? Oh wait, I'm going to take it really political and geothermal. I don't know why I said that. Like he's just like, hey, geography rules and I'm creating my own nation in an acre in Utah. And how are 35 people living on an acre?
That's not 1 acre.
It says 1 acre and there's 35 members. Maybe not everyone lives there.
It sounds like a cult.
Yeah, and it kind of gives like angry cult vibes, but then he's kind of silly. He's like, hey, cookie dough.
That's how they are outward facing. I'm sorry. I'm just like, I'm a pessimist like that when it comes to stuff like this. It could just be a silly little cookie dough cult.
I will say though, I didn't get any religious undertones.
Okay.
So there was no real religion mentioned in this, which I kind of think is synonymous with cult vibes.
What happens to those trying to escape?
I don't think anyone's tried to escape. Listen, he's not going to give the dirty juice until Netflix gets the rights to this 2 years from now. And then we find out all about the Republic of Malassia. But there are 67 separate micronations in the world right now. And I think there are probably some that are actually legit. And he is kind of taking away the credibility of a real micronation here probably. But I'm loving it. He has a cute little sign. You go outside and it's like, it kind of just feels very like, hey, come visit here if you're nearby. That's him and his wife when I see.
Yeah.
He's giving like Fidel Castro vibes for sure.
He's giving, please get me out of here vibes. Like this was a joke a couple years ago, like Schitt's Creek.
Oh, I'm sorry. The 35 citizens include 3 members that are actually just dogs. So he's like, don't worry, we got him. And the citizens vote in the U.S. election and pay U.S. taxes, which Bao jokingly refers to as foreign aid.
Okay, I see what he's doing. He just wanted a spot on the show.
He did. He really wanted a spot on the show, and I feel like he just like it doesn't seem serious at all. But if it's not serious, I love that he's just like, I have a dream, and he has a job, but he won't say it because he thinks it takes away from the fantasy. Literally, he says that in the article. He's like, I'm not gonna tell you what I really do. But
he's like an accountant or something.
Exactly. And he has like little like side family inside joke that people can come and visit. They make a couple bucks, so they do like a tour, and he loves being in the parade. He's definitely like loving himself a lot, which I'm all about self-love and I'm all about this nation. So guys, if we're ever in Nevada on a camp trip, we'll be visiting Camp Malassia. This is weird too. Can I say one more thing?
Sure.
They have their own time zone. It's 39 minutes ahead of Pacific Standard Time and 21 minutes behind Mountain Standard Time.
And now you're just asking for trouble.
He's just being weird. He's just having fun. That's enough about Kevin Bao. But hey, this video is sponsored by the Tourism Commission for the Republic of Malassia. Ever visited a micronation? Well, now you can. Thanks to Kevin Bao and the Republic of Malaysia.
Stop, Jonathan.
I'm sorry. Hey, and that's what I got today for my morning announcement.
What would you name your micronation?
My micronation will be called Zzzville. And in Zzzville, there is no time zone. There is no currency. It's nothing but good vibes and Italian grinders all day long.
I love that.
What would yours be called?
Krusty Cove.
You have repurposed that. And actually, Jonathan has already made his micronation. What's your micronation blueprint?
It was on Animal Crossing. So come on and visit me at Krusty Cove. Actually, I don't like when strangers try to come to me. It
oh my
scares
God.
me. But maybe I'll post pictures.
Do you think Kevin Bao was the original blueprint for Animal Crossing?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Back when it started.
Animal Crossing is just a bunch of micronations.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
What's mine called? I love mine. Oh, I got it. It's called Brule Bay.
Brule Bay.
That was beautiful. If you steal that name or you tell anybody about Brule Bay, I will hunt you down and I will throw custard at you and it'll be hot custard and it's going to hurt your eyes. So.
And it's going to shatter like glass when it hits your skin. I love that, but I think I would do Krusty Cove. Or Jonathan Lind.
Oh, Jonathan Lind. Oh, I kind of.
Wait, do they have their own flag?
Yes, I can't find it, but they do. Well, they have their own colors. It's giving like, look, it's blue, white, and green.
Italia.
Get out of the water and onto the dock. You're not gonna believe what I just heard.
Welcome back to the Gossip Talk. Ooh, girls, gays, theys, even the gentlemen are invited to the Gossip Talk. And this one this week is user submitted. User submitted. And it's spicy.
And it's tangy. And it's sweet.
Oh my God. Are you giving adjectives of baking?
I might be.
Guys, we're back on our baking bullshit. Another baking themed Gossip Talk.
I can't believe it. Should we just call this the bakery?
Oh my God. Oh, I'm obsessed. The bakery.
We're really niching down on this. Please submit all bakery story. I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
No, this is a good one though. Can I just get right into it? Because
Yeah,
guys,
let's
I
get
need
into
everyone to buckle in because it's gonna be a long one. But I promise you, it's a good one. Okay. Whatever you do, don't go into business with someone you met once from the internet out of financial desperation. That's the starting sentence. I'm already screaming. I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be a good one.
They got me sink, line, and hooker.
In hooker. Woo! I own a small food business in Portland, Oregon. I started the business by myself from nothing and worked my ass off to get it to where it is. Before I met, let's call her Kathy or Kay. We were both in need of a cooking space and both struggling business owners, and we decided to go halves into a space together. Red flags started popping up with Kay's behavior, communication style, and overall temperament. I figured it was just stress and we'd work it out. Then COVID happened. Her business took a dive since it relied heavily on large events and gatherings. My business was primarily wholesale. I decided to let her in on my business since she needed the money. Big fucking mistake. Already, like, the writer here, like, you're already helping her out. Like, she's not doing well with her business. She's already being sassy. I get it's stressful, but like, I already sense that there's good intention here behind the writer.
Right.
Her attitude got worse, and I realized how toxic of a person she was. She was constantly emotionally manipulating me, gaslighting me, and would pretend like it never happened. Classic gaslighter. She started going behind my back to clients and doing things without my knowing. She fucked up hard with the client by showing them her true colors, and they stopped working with us. This was my last straw. Okay, now we've lost a client.
Okay, yeah.
This is getting bad. I told her she couldn't be a part of my business anymore. She said it was fine, but oh man, was it not fine. We were constantly walking on eggshells, never knowing if she'd be in a good mood or not. One time she handed me her phone to order food and a text message from her mom popped up that said, "Don't worry, we will get her out of the food space soon. We'll sue her." She's like, "Girl, what do you want in your Chipotle bowl? Just put it in the DoorDash." And she's like putting in like extra guac and it pops up, "We're going to sue her and you're the one getting sued." That is crazy.
Do you think she did that on purpose, knowing she would see it?
I don't think anyone that's going through legal like actions that you would never take that because clearly you're trying to like get your ducks in a row before you attack legally. And I don't think that was intentional. I think it was poor planning. I don't think that anyone would do that with the right mind because like they're still currently working in the same workspace. So obviously at that point, I knew she was trying to ruin my livelihood and kick me out of our shared cooking space. Then she sent me multiple legal demand letters to leave in 15 days and leave 8 employees jobless and me without a business. She tried removing me from our LLC multiple times, tried changing our cooking space lease name into her own business name. She talked shit about me to my clients, stole my recipes, and slandered my name across town. She even used to take my photos and read my text messages. She installed a camera in the food space and listened to all of our conversations like a fucking creeper. Okay, this girl is going crazy. At this point, her food safety standards began to tank.
Oh no.
They were really never the best, but they went downhill fast. She used to make cakes in her home for customers full of cats and dogs, with cat and dog hair flying around.
Is that legal?
It's illegal. You have to be in a certified kitchen to work in this. And that's what they're talking about. That's why they went into business on a shared cooking space, because to sell like a food product, you have to be in a certified kitchen.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like to prevent that.
I think if you're selling like cookies or something, there's a law. It's like the cottage law or something, where you can sell like little cookies, but if there's cat hair and dander in a cake.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why they have this cooking space. But we all started noticing, including her brand new employees, who, by the way, in their interviews told them that I hated babies. Specifically, she called me a baby hater. This girl is crazy.
Where do you get that?
Exactly.
Oh, by the way, you're going to be working for a baby hater. Was that out of the blue, or did people have babies, I wonder?
I don't know. And I don't know this person, and maybe she made a sly comment about a baby, but who hasn't? Some babies are deserving of hate. But I'm just joking. But I don't know. That's just like really funny. I feel like she's just like grabbing at anything at this point. Anyway, Kay once had 8 small cakes sitting in the fridge for an entire month, and they began to grow mold on them. She instructed her employees to frost them and decorate them for a client. The employee refused. She made a fondant unicorn, and it sat on a shelf for 6 months collecting dust, literally, and she used it on a cake. You could still see the dust and little hairs on it in the photos she posted of it.
Oh, girl.
This girl is gross. She's a grody girl, a grody cake maker. She once screamed at me because she thought I ate all of her Oreos and wouldn't stop accusing me of it. And then her employees reminded her that she had used them all for a cake. It was a whole thing. We will call it Oreo Gate. She was like, you ate my Oreos. She was like, girl, you just made an Oreo mashup cake, girl. You used those Oreos.
With her rotting jack-o'-lantern cakes in the fridge.
It's almost done. This is the last paragraph. After all, I ended up buying her out, which meant she left. She spent all that money on lawyers to kick me out, but I got to stay. And then her ex-employees made an Instagram about her disgusting food safety practices and her abusive behavior. She thinks I made it, so she blocked me and refuses to pay any past bills for our past LLC together. This is the business partner from hell.
Yeah, also the Oreo Gate, though. Like, come on now. You're in a bakery and you're like, you stole and ate all my Oreos.
I know.
We're really reaching.
It seems like towards the end they were sharing the space but doing different businesses, and I think that's why she was like getting really protective over the shared ingredients, or like the ingredients that she had bought or whatever. Because like the writer is like handling more of like the pastry, like baking side, while she was doing cakes. Because it was a joint effort, and then they split.
Listen, 2020 did a number on a lot of people.
Yes, it did. I think it brings out the true colors in people. I think that was always an inherent personality trait of her, and maybe she hid it well. And then when things became very stressful from the lack of business because of COVID, she just lost her mind.
I wonder if she's still in business.
I don't respect anybody that's going to take legal actions before having an actual mediation. I feel like you went to the very extreme before even trying to mediate. At least what we're reading here, it's like, girl, like, did you even try to resolve some issues before like bringing in a secret lawsuit and trying to steal the LLC, trying to steal the lease name? Like, that's shady. That's crazy.
I'm also wondering how old this person is too. It sounds like very much like a youngin.
Yeah, I saw the Instagram. I'm vibing by the person who wrote in, the writer. They're kind of young. I'm assuming the business partner was also young. They were like trying to band in together, probably starting out. So
I see. Rough. What is going on in these bakeries these days, guys?
Yeah, I think the bakery, I think there needs to be a TLC show called Cake Boss. Or I was gonna say Bakery Bandits. And it's just the drama that goes down in between the cookie pans.
In between the layers.
Or it's layered. Yeah, so we're going to start a baking show drama called It's Layered, and it's going to be about all the drama that comes from bagels and cakes.
Wow, the drama.
That was today's Gossip Doc.
Grab your bug juice and bear spray, campers. It's time to pack it up and take a hike.
This is a segment we call Take a Hike, where we talk about the things that have been grinding our gears, things that get on our nerves, and we're going to tell to take a hike. So what I'm going to tell to take a hike is when people fry shrimp with the tail still on them.
You hate that so
I
much.
hate that. What is the purpose? That. Is there a reason for it? Maybe this is my ignorance because there totally could be a reason for it. Or the other day, we had lunch, literally yesterday. Grilled shrimp with the tail still on them in my creamy pasta. It's like, how am I supposed to eat that? I got to cut it. I'm flinging sauce everywhere. I'm wearing my new sweater from Savannah, Georgia. I had to take it off. It was dangerous. It was dangerous in those water. It's so annoying. There's no reason for it.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think there's an actual reason for it because I've had plenty of lovely shrimp dishes that have had the shrimps cleaned.
And then I'm wasting the meat that you could have took it off because I'm not going to pry open
not in a sauce.
Last bit of or shrimp tempura.
No, stop putting the crispy tail at the end of the sushi roll. I know you think it's pretty, but it's just a waste. And then I'm trying to bite it off and it's just making a mess.
And also when people, like, if you're not taking the tail off or you're not deveining it, you know what the vein is?
Poop.
It's poop.
It's shrimp poop. But I don't care about that. I'm so gross.
Ew, they're like bottom feeders.
It's okay. So is a lobster, and those things are expensive.
True. Well, that's what's been grinding my gears, and that is what I'm going to tell to take a hike. Stop leaving the shrimp tails on fried shrimp. If you're eating cocktail, fine. It gives you a little handled. Even if it's on a kebab, I'll give you the kebab. You can pull it right off, and then you can. But no, let's take them off fried food and grilled pasta dishes. Enough. Take a hike. What's on your mind?
I want someone to take a hike this week.
Oh God.
It's a person that we all know and we all care about to some level, maybe not as much. I want Ryan Murphy to take a hike. And by take a hike, Ryan Murphy, I just need you to take a break. I think you're doing too much. I think since I've been in high school, you haven't stopped pumping out the content. And there was a point when I was like really appreciative of it. But like on Netflix lately, it just seems like everything has been produced by you. You love to bring the same people back. And that's fun and all. But give Sarah Paulson some time to breathe. She can't even commit to another project because you have her booked back to back to back to back. Evan Peters, you need to take a hike. You need to take a break. You've done too much. Do you know this week I saw on Netflix that Ryan Murphy had the #1 show and the #1 movie on Netflix?
What movie?
It's a new movie it's a Stephen King book or whatever, and it's about like the letters or the phone call. It's like a teenager that's best friends with an old man and he's getting bullied, and the old man like helps him stop being bullied. It's like a scary movie. And I might even want to see it. And that's the thing. I'm not even against all of his projects. I just think Ryan Murphy, I can't see your name anymore. I just need a break from it. I don't like when people become overexposed, okay? When you're doing 1,000 things at once, it stresses me out, and I don't like to see your name that much. I'm sorry, Ryan Murphy. I love you to a point, but I need you to take a hike.
Do you think the new counselor likes the top bunk or the bottom bunk? Over.
Either way, I'm giving them my boondoggle keychain. Over.
Camper crush of the week.
Who are you crushing on?
So I'm crushing on, it's not a who, it's a what.
Who, what, when, where?
It's an Instagram account.
What?
A daily cloud.
Oh, you love clouds.
I love clouds. Back when we first started dating, I used to send you a bunch of pictures. I'm like, does this kid think I'm really weird? I love clouds. I follow a lot of cloud accounts. I just like looking at clouds. It relaxes. It grounds me. As like opposite as that is.
I know.
It centers me. When I was a kid, I used to lay out in the little fields and I would make up what I see up there. You know what people do? I still do that. Okay. Well, this guy, his name is Chris Judge. He's an artist, and he doodles on pictures that he takes or that people send him of clouds, and he makes like a little scene out of it with like cute little doodles.
Oh, that's so adorable.
It's cute. And he just published like a children's book too that has each page is like an actual photograph that he doodles on to make like a little cartoon scene. And it's just, I love the creativity. It expands the mind. And that's why my camper crush of the week is the Instagram account, A Daily Cloud.
I will say the apple does not fall far from the tree, because when we were on vacation this week with your mother, she was showing pictures of the multiple cloud photos that she took of. And she goes to one and she goes, oh, this one though. And I'm like, oh, it's pretty. And she was like, yep, kind of scary though. And I said, what's scary about that? And she said, see all the crosses? And I was like, oh, okay. I can like, yeah, now I see them. But like, I think you get that from your mom, and you're both very imaginative people that like you see a cloud and you're like, oh my God, a falling pineapple and a big field of flowers. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know where you're getting that one from, but I think y'all see things,
Yeah,
especially. Yeah.
about right.
Your mom showed me about 100 pictures of clouds throughout the vacation, and I loved every single one of them.
And you take a picture of that sunset and you will never look at it again.
She loves a picture of a cloud, a sunrise, and a sunset.
I used to have so many pictures like in a plane when we were in the clouds.
That's when I think they're the most prettiest.
Me too, but I had so many on my camera roll.
Okay.
Pre-2020. I almost said pre-9/11.
Can I just like get on a little rant real quick?
Sure.
I love when you're above the clouds in the sky and you see them all and they're just looking like whipped cream, like Cool Whip sculptures. I start to well up looking out the window. I like need to put on a sad song. I'm gonna start crying now. My eyes are welling up. There is something so beautiful about a field of clouds when the plane is above and they're just whipped and they're just, it's like, it's gorgeous.
I
love clouds like that.
A field of mashed potatoes.
Do you ever look at a cloud and say, damn, that looks painted. Looks like an oil painting.
Yeah.
Like sometimes they become so gorgeous. I'm also into clouds now that I think about it, but not as much as you are. Like I don't need to look at them on my phone because I'm like, if I want to see a cloud, baby, I have eyes. I'll look outside.
But you should look at this account. It's really cute.
I think you've showed me that before.
I probably have.
Yeah, that's cute. I love that.
But that's my camper crush of the week.
Oh, we're crushing on clouds.
Who's yours?
My camper crush of the week. My camper crush of the week is a little restaurant chain. I'm sure you've heard of it, and I'm sure you already know. There is one restaurant chain that just ruffles my feathers in the right way possible. I go there and I feel like a celebrity. I feel like I'm on top of the world. And that restaurant is the Cheesecake Factory. Ring-a-ding-ding, Cheesecake Factory, you make my knockers hard. I love everything about you, and I'm going to walk you through it. You walk inside, and you're immediately struck by the decor. Is this Panera? Is this 2005 Italian farmhouse design? I'm not sure. I'm obsessed. You're greeted by a sweaty 19-year-old boy who's shaking. I don't know why. He's so stressed, and he's like, how many for the table? And I'm like, calm down, Jeremiah. We're here to vibe. I'll do the 30-minute wait. Pass me a buzzer. What happened to buzzers? Cheesecake Factory still has their buzzer. And I love a restaurant that gives me a buzzer so I can sit and enjoy a conversation and wait for that little ring-a-ding-ding to buzz before I get sat to the table.
They're always a little greasy though.
They have them wiped down. That's a poor wipe down of the buzzer. They shouldn't be greasy. And if they're greasy at Cheesecake Factory, it's because they're busy, and that's okay. Then Jeremiah will then show us to a table, and we're greeted by a stunning server and a white button-down black button-down black tie, and a very formal apron. The apron at a Cheesecake Factory, if you guys notice, it goes to the ankle. And that is a long apron for a restaurant. And that means it's a very formal place. So I already feel a little ritzy.
Is that true?
Yes, they go right to the ankle. There are long aprons there.
That's interesting that you noticed that.
Well, I'm a restaurant guy. I've always worked in restaurants.
Okay.
Then they bring you the bread. I am all about what is the restaurant going to bring me for free. Cheesecake Factory does not disappoint. You have the sourdough and the brown bread. The brown bread is truly amazing, okay? We love the brown bread. But the sourdough is great too. And they don't give you a butter tabs. They don't give you the little folded ones. They give you a big tab in a dish by itself, a communal butter. And for me, I'm a butter boy. I love the butter. So I always want a little bit more butter, and I'm always running for the brown bread first. But the sourdough is a nice palate cleanser in between that and an appetizer. But it just continues on for me. The menu is like 15 pages. Everything is delicious on it.
It's a big menu. They still have it. It's huge.
Yeah, and they just added more menu items. They just added 15 more this year, and I have to go try some. But my favorite Cheesecake Factory dish is the chicken piccata, no mushroom, extra caper. I love the angel hair. It's so good. The chicken breast is pounded out so thin. Their cream piccata sauce is like lemony and garlicky. It's so divine. Great capers. And then I wash her all down. Okay, sorry. Another thing that's coming to me. The soda. The mugs are this kind of plastic acrylic, like it's a mug and it's not a glass. And I like that because it's thick. And the Dr. Pepper fountain Dr. Pepper from there, oh my God, I never had a bad one. Carbonated and sweet, it's the perfect layer. And then I finish it all up with a Godiva chocolate cheesecake. And it's funny because the cheesecake is not even what I go for. If I want one, I'll get one. I don't need it. That's what they do best there. But I love everything else about it. Cheesecake Factory, you are my crush of my life. Sorry, that was a lot, but I need to get it all out because I'm so passionate about Cheesecake Factory.
I wish I had some sort of passion for anything the way that you have a passion about Cheesecake Factory. Honestly, that was beautiful, poetic, imaginative, and I want to go.
When you lived in Philly, it was so fun because when I would come to visit you, you had one that was so close to you. And for me growing up, it was a real treat. I had to drive about 45 minutes to Providence Place and go to the Cheesecake Factory, and it was always a real big deal for me. And it still is, but I like that when you were in Philly, it felt more accessible. And even now, I've already looked. The closest Cheesecake Factory to us is 45 minutes. And one day I'm going to need that pilgrimage. I'm going to need that little treat because I'm jonesing for like the comforts of Cheesecake Factory. They kill it.
They do. And you know, it's always going to be consistent there. Quality control.
What is your favorite thing there?
I don't even know. I've been there like twice.
I know, but you liked that thing you got last time. That was good.
I don't remember. Didn't we just... I feel like
It's
we
like a
just
shrimp
talked about
pasta
this.
dish.
Yeah, I love a shrimp pasta dish. If the tail is off.
I think the tail's on there too.
I need it off.
You need to look at the research on that because there could be a reason why they're keeping the tails on because it seems like everybody and their mother is tailing it out here.
Baby, the customer's always right, and I'm the customer here, and I'm sorry, but take the frickin' tail off.
All right. What song's been stuck in your head all week? Welcome to Camp Songs.
It is time for camp songs. We do have a playlist of this, actually. It is on Spotify as well as YouTube, and you can listen to it totally for free. We just put it together because we think it's going to be fun. Anyway, my camp song this week it's a song that reminds me of fall. Motion Sickness by Phoebe Bridgers.
Oh, wow. That's really sad.
I know, but it's like...
It's a heavy song.
But it's like, it's fall for me. Well, I was going to pick... what's her other one? Smoke Signals?
Good song. I literally love that song. I just think I'm welling up thinking about it. I'm welling up always, but
I feel like that is it's a little fall for me. Don't you think?
That is definitely not a summer song. Actually, it could be all seasons, but I do get the cozy, like, I have motion sickness.
Yeah. The Smoke Signals song, that one sounds very much like Twin Peaks, which gives me fall vibes as well.
I don't know if I know that one. I must know it. I can't think of it.
Yeah,
right now.
you would know it for
She's
sure.
a beautiful singer and a talented artist, and she went to school at the same year with Maggie Rogers and Fletcher, all three of them in the same graduating class. What an all-star ranking. Are you kidding me?
There was something in the water for sure. A shark in the water. Vivi Brown was at that very school.
Call back.
What's your camp song?
My camp song is a song that you showed me a couple of years ago, and it's so good.
Oh God.
Biscuits by Casey Musgrave.
Oh, I love mind your own biscuits.
I'll read you guys a little bit of
gravy.
I'll read you the verse, okay? This is the chorus.
Okay.
So hoe your own road and raise your own babies. Smoke your own smoke and grow your own daisies. Mend your own fences and own your own crazy. Mind your own biscuits and life will be gravy. It's just a song about minding your own goddamn business and living your life and enjoying what you have and not worrying about anybody else and not worrying about anybody else's stuff either. And Casey Musgrave back in the day used to have an entire like catalog of music that was not about love, that was not about like, it was just about like life lessons. And it was almost like, I don't know, like little tales, allegories, if you will. And they were all like country and funky and I loved them.
Yeah,
I loved them.
Her first two albums, I would say, well, I don't know if they were actually her first two albums, but it's all like about loving yourself and doing whatever the hell you care about. That was the very first Casey Musgrave song I ever heard was Biscuits.
It's so cute, you guys. Go listen to the Spotify like link or listen to the YouTube link of all the videos and songs because this song is like such a mood booster. It makes me like that kind of grounds me. And I'm like, hey, like I need to mind my own goddamn business.
Right, and life will be gravy.
Mend my own fences and own my own crazy. I'm mending my business. I'm mending my own internal trauma, and I'm minding my crazy. Guess what? Life's gonna be gravy with my biscuits. So, Casey, I love you, and do what you want. It's your life. It's your career. I'm not gonna tell you what to do. Okay? You mind your business. I'm over here. I'm just celebrating you in this moment. Love you, Case.
Scary stories around the campfire.
It's time for Scary Stories, where listeners submit their mostly embarrassing stories. They do not have to be poop related, but most of them are. So if you have a story, you can DM it to us on Instagram, or you can email it to us at campcounselorspod@gmail.com. So this listener wrote in and said, One late night, I drove to a guy's house I was hooking up with. We started kissing and he was getting handsy, and me thinking we were going to hook up, decided I should probably go to the restroom and freshen up. I was young, 18 years old, and nervous to have used the restroom at his house. I flushed so he would think that I used the bathroom, although I never actually used it. So that's important, never actually used it. That was a mistake. I ended up going back to his room, and we did whatever. Fast forward later on that evening, he texts me something I will never forget before I even made it home. He told me he did not appreciate me clogging the toilet and just flushing it and leaving it. He lived with his parents and they were pissed. I then told him that I didn't even use the bathroom, but he heard me flush. The lid was down, so I didn't notice anything. I didn't bother to check. I just flushed to make him think that I was using the bathroom. And of course, he told everyone we knew, and he probably tells a story every time he meets someone new. 14 years later, and I won't ever flush and trust.
Never flush and trust. So the lid was down when she flushed it?
Yeah, she was like, okay, I've been in here too long. I don't want him thinking I'm doing, I don't know, whatever. So I'm just going to flush the toilet. And someone had laid a log and didn't take care of it. And then it was her problem. And what was she going to say? I mean, she can't really deny it.
Yeah, that's disgusting and sad for her because obviously he's never going to believe her. But let alone it was Grandpa Joe who was laying pipe down there. That was not what I meant to say.
Oh my God.
He was laying the log in the toilet and did flush it or tried to flush it, and the lid was down. And guess what, girl? If you're listening, we all would have done the same thing. I would have done like a little practice flush. I'm in here too long. I'm freshening up. I'm trying to get my oats together. I'm trying to get in the groove, okay? I flushed the toilet. I didn't see that you clogged the toilet. And now you're texting me, blaming me. You're never going to believe me. And guess what? I'm sure you never talk to him again. And I hope that he hears this somehow and he feels bad about himself because guess what? It was Grandpa Joe clogging the toilet, not you, girl. We got your back, girlie. We love you.
She was just set up for a loss from the jump. Like you say, Grandpa Joe, like, what is she going to say if she goes in there and it's already like there? Not to be graphic, but is she going to go tell him, be like, hey, I don't know what's going on in here, but something happened in here. That's going to set the entire mood off unless he's into that.
Who took a fat shit and put the lid down?
And just left it. Just
You're a pig, Grandpa Joe.
Yeah. Or he didn't care enough.
The guy listens to this. He's like, my grandpa's been dead for years. Please stop saying his name like that.
But if you've got a scary story, send it on into campcounselorspod@gmail.com. And that just about does it for this episode.
And campers, listen, the outhouse is clogged in between cabins 7 and 9. Do not continue to flush. We have cameras on and we will write you up and put you in the isolation cabin with just Oreos and peanut butter and the twin you never knew you had.
That was a great call.
I think that's it for today, campers. So please remember to send in your gossip docs and your scary stories to campcounselorspod@gmail.com, campcounselorspod on Instagram, and just let us know some fun juice so we can read it and share it with the crew on here. We literally love you so much.
And it also means a lot to us if you give us a 5-star rating. It means a lot on the back end. Seriously. And thank you to those who have left us a really nice review.
Yeah, this has been really fun. We love you guys, and we will see you next week.
Lights out, campers.